Brown, they give him room. Can't make him pay. Jokic. Murray tries the three. Shot clock at 9. Jokic wants it, but he's doubled. Brown can't get it.
Did you notice anything strange about those plays? When you first watch those shots, you might think they're just a couple of missed threes. But when you actually focus on what is happening, you realize the reason these threes are wide open. This man right here, Nikola Jokic. Yes, in a Game 7 where the OKC Thunder blew out the Denver Nuggets, and Nikola Jokic had a disappointing 20 points, 9 rebounds, and 7 assists, there were a lot of people wondering how he only scored 20 points whilst being guarded by someone like Alex Caruso. This right here is your answer. I mean, how do you suppose someone can make a play with the ball in their hands when, well, they can't get the ball in their hands? Like here, Jokic gets front position on Wallace in the post. Brown has the ball at the three-point line. A 40% three-point shooter in the regular season, by the way, and watch Shea completely ignore him to prevent the entry pass to Jokic. And it's not just Shea. You have Caruso on the left-hand side helping over to prevent that pass, and Chet behind Jokic waiting at the rim. 4 OKC defenders zoning up against Nikola Jokic without the ball even reaching his hands. Or how about this play where Russ starts with the ball? Wallace goes under on the screen, and there's 2 players guarding Jokic. But just as Russ looks to throw that pass over the top of those 2 players, oh, there's a 3rd defender. Lou Dort helps off Christian Brown to prevent the entry pass, and again, a wide open 3, but again, Jokic can't even touch the ball. I'm sure you heard everyone mention Alex Caruso doing a great job against Nikola Jokic. And look, Caruso is one of the best guard defenders of all time. I think he's that good. It's also okay to admit that he was a part of a system revolving around stopping Nikola Jokic. He might have been the best man for the job, but it's not exactly one-on-one when you are getting triple teamed without the ball even touching your hands. I mean, how about off an inbound pass in Game 6 where you had both Caruso and Wallace guarding him and then Chet helping over, again leaving Brown wide open. And you know what? I heard an argument suggesting, well, anyone can get open shots for Christian Brown and Russell Westbrook. How about his screening for Jamal Murray then? Like on this play where he sets the screen for Murray, Hardenstein gets caught up and it's a wide open pull-up jumper. Or how about all of the countless passes he threw to Michael Porter Jr. or Aaron Gordon? Or maybe you just have to realize that the Denver Nuggets don't have the best group of shooters, and Nikola Jokic was still creating wide open looks for practically every single player on this roster, culminating in 16 open to wide open 3-point shots for the Nuggets created from Nikola Jokic's gravity in Game 7. Unfortunately, the Nuggets only hit 4 of those 16 shots. And if you actually watch the plays where Jokic even had just a bit of space to work against Caruso in isolation, he scored practically every single time. The problem was, he was just not able to get up shots because of what I showed you. Oh, there is one other thing we need to mention. When it comes to playing someone like Alex Caruso or Lou Dort or any of these smaller defenders that guard Nikola Jokic, this has supposedly been his kryptonite for many years. The Rui Hachimura effect, the PJ Tucker effect. You know why it's his kryptonite? Let's just be honest. They are allowed to get away with absolutely everything. I'm not one to blame the refs for games, and the Nuggets were going to lose regardless based on how they played and based on what I just showed you. But also, let's be completely honest. Off the ball, Alex Caruso is allowed to hack, is allowed to grab, do everything you can to prevent him getting the ball. And that's the key. Everyone will focus on the touch fouls when Jokic gets the ball. That's less of a problem. It is what they do off the ball, allowed to just manhandle and grab him because they are smaller, and then when Jokic actually imposes his weight the other way, it gets called an offensive foul. That is the difference when being guarded by a smaller player. Do you really think Alex Caruso is stronger than Isaiah Hardenstein? We have seen Nikola Jokic dominate guys like Anthony Davis, Rudy Gobert, massive players. There is just a little difference in how they are officiated. And I've never seen anything like this in NBA history. Granted, I haven't been watching the sport for 60 years like other people, but I have never seen this. But before we go any further, the NBA playoffs are getting serious. And with today's sponsor, Kalshi, they give you the opportunity to put your predictions in for the conference finals. We have two great matchups with Indiana, New York, and OKC, Minnesota. And with Kalshi, you have the opportunity to bet on who you believe will win. Will it be the 68-win OKC Thunder, who are the best team all year? Or will it be the Minnesota Timberwolves, who've been the best team in the playoffs and have had that crucial few days of rest, which the Thunder did not get? If you think it's the Wolves, you could make up to nearly 3 times on your bet. And Kalshi has markets on almost everything. I'm serious. They have over 1 million users, with Kalshi being legal in all 50 states and have facilitated over $2 billion worth of trades. So put your sports and entertainment knowledge to the test and sign up using my link, and anyone who trades $100 will receive a free $10 credit. I've heard some people say, well, this is what it's been like for Joel Embiid. No, it's not the same. I'm not going to sit here and suggest Joel Embiid has had easy defensive coverages. He has been double teamed. He has been shown a lot of defensive coverages. But going back and watching every 3-point shot from Game 6 of the Knicks series last year, yes, I did that, there was not one, not a single 3-point shot that was created from a double team off the ball. Keyword, off the ball. And this is why the defensive coverage against Jokic is so unique and different. Naturally, in the past, aggressive double teaming has been the way to slow down great big men, forcing turnovers and just forcing them into playmaking, which most of them haven't been great at doing. The Thunder realized that wasn't enough. We need to just completely prevent him from touching the ball altogether. Compare this to the more traditional approach that teams have had against a guy like Joel Embiid, where the ball gets swung to Payne, who finds Embiid, and Hart looks to double, leaving Buddy wide open for a 3. The way OKC were playing Jokic, in that initial clip, McBride would have dropped back to prevent the entry pass, or at least hedged and forced Payne to shoot. And we can go back further as well. And just because I wanted to, I did that. I even looked back at the most dominant player in NBA history, Mr. Shaquille O'Neal, the guy who faced all kinds of coverages. Guys, don't shoot me. He didn't face defense like this. Just look at some of these clips from the 2001 finals against a 76ers team that were an elite defense. Look at the space he has on that play to operate. Don't get me wrong, Shaq's first step, his power, his touch, his size, his strength, incredible, amazing. And I know whatever I say, people are gonna laugh because it is Shaquille O'Neal, and I'm not even comparing the two as players, but just specifically from a defensive coverage, he was not facing this kind of attention. He just simply wasn't. And there is one other detail that needs to be mentioned when comparing Shaquille O'Neal versus Nikola Jokic: the entry passing. I have been preaching this for as long as possible. I have been talking about this every single year for the last 5 years. I am sick of talking about it, but there is a reason. Because you look back and watch Shaquille O'Neal, and you see the moment he gets any bit of space, the ball is thrown into him perfectly, he gets one dribble, hooks it in. Nikola Jokic gets that space. Oh, let's just wait to make the pass. Oh, I'm not quite sure. Actually, I'm going to pass it to someone else, who's then going to pass it to someone else, who's then going to dribble the ball, hesitate, pass it to Jokic. He's now got 3 seconds left on the shot clock and needs to heave from 20 feet instead of getting the ball in the paint when he had the initial seal. That is the difference between guard play in 2001 and now. And the only 2 players on the Nuggets roster that deserve any kind of credit for their entry passing are Russell Westbrook and Aaron Gordon. And ironically, the best of all of the entry passes is Nikola Jokic, but he can't really throw it to himself, unfortunately. But just to demonstrate, just look at a play like this. He sets the screen on Chet, and that's all you have to do. It's not even a great pass. Just get him the ball when he gets that position, and you can see him do the rest. The only time there was a good entry pass in the entirety of Game 7 was this pass from Russ. And it was an uncharacteristic miss from Jokic, but do you see the catch? He's got possibly the best hands in NBA history, and you aren't taking advantage of that. I promise you, throw it high, throw it away from the defender. He will catch it, and then he will have an opportunity to score quickly if you actually make the pass. And just to further emphasize how the Thunder were guarding Jokic, in case you don't truly realize how insane this is, how about a play like this, where Jokic is being guarded by Caruso. He tries to get the switch onto Chet, and you know what? How about both defenders just stay attached to him and leave a 40% three-point shooter wide open because they are so worried about Nikola Jokic. The gravity we talk about with Stephen Curry, there is one other player in the modern NBA I have seen with that same gravity, and it is Nikola Jokic. Obviously, they do it in different ways, but no one else creates the same amount of open looks just off their presence alone. You also have to give credit to OKC as well. I've talked about how they've guarded Jokic, but this takes effort, it takes discipline, and it takes skill. And whilst it was pretty obvious he figured out how to beat them in the last few games of the series, he had some of his worst games ever early in the series because of their defense. And if you want to know why the Thunder were a historic team during the regular season, obviously Shai was incredible all year long and was great during this series, going head to head with Jokic, but it is the depth. Normally when you get to the playoffs, your bench shrinks, and even your 6th and 7th man can only maybe play 18 to 20 minutes a night and make an impact. Alex Caruso and Cason Wallace could have played 40 minutes in every single game and would have looked great every single game. And so when you have 7 guys who could start on most teams in the NBA, and then another 3 who could start on a select number of teams over the course of a season and a playoff run, you start to see a serious defense. And Nikola Jokic mentioned that as well. And it is up to the Nuggets front office to actually recognize this and realize if it takes 3 guys to stop Nikola Jokic, there should be quite a few wide open shots to go around. So how about maybe signing some 3-point shooters? That's just a thought.